Welcome to the channel. Today, we are going to enjoy a very interesting story named Sister-in-Law Far Away from Her Husband. I hope the story will bring you some relaxing moments. Don't forget to like, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel to support the channel. Now, let's explore the main content of this story. My mother gave me the name Tongue, maybe because she remembered my father. My mother was a kind woman, a good wife. She spent her whole life at home with her husband and her daughter-in-law. Now, she added my sister-in-law, a 20-year-old young girl. Although she had married my brother for several years, they still did not have children. I heard from the neighborhood that my sister-in-law could not give birth. So my brother left with another woman. When I heard those words, my sister-in-law cried all night. But at that time, I was too young to understand. My house is poor. It is a limestone house in the poor neighborhood of the village of Vend. There is nothing valuable in the house. Each house here is the same. They are all broken in the middle. An altar, a simple set of chairs, 2 beds, and 2 sad beds. My mother and my sister-in-law each live in one bed, and I sleep in the middle bed. Every time my sister-in-law comes over to the house next to the river, I see my sister standing on the bank of the river, looking back at her hometown. Especially the sunset, my sister's shadow stretching over the river. Makes me feel endless sadness. I go to school in a class that is also in a dull form. I'm not good at school, but I don't get bored. Remember that day. The harvest season is also a happy season for the young people in our village. When the harvest season is over, we still play hide and seek. All the people gather together to catch grasshoppers, want to grill them. In the middle of May, June, the weather is like a fire, so at 5 a.m., everyone in the house started to go down to the field. I also wake up at 4 a.m., eat a bowl of rice and go to the field to harvest rice with my mother and sister-in-law. After harvesting, I bring the rice back home. When I get home, the garden is in full bloom. It becomes a tall tree for the chickens to fly high and greet the new day. The harvest season is fun and my loved ones know how. This time I'm on summer break, so I stay at home to help my mother and sister-in-law with their work. That night, after finishing my meal, I hurriedly took the basket out to the field to harvest the frog. At about 11 p.m., I followed the road back home. Without going through the yard, I was going to go to the field to pick the frog shell and take a dip there. From dusk to dusk, the smell of frog was all over my body, along with the slight smell of sweat. When I got close to the field, I heard the sound of water, as if someone was taking a bath. It's strange. It's definitely not my mother now, because she doesn't have the habit of taking a bath late. Maybe it's my sister-in-law. She usually finishes her bath at 7 or 8 p.m. I slowly walked back to the corner of the garden, where there was a big banana tree, to get closer to the side of the bathroom. The banana tree was about 10 meters away from the bathroom. Then I looked into my eyes. Oh my God. I was stunned. My eyes were wide open. My heart was beating fast. In front of my eyes was my sister-in-law, standing under the moonlight. The ground was empty, only the sound of water dripping back. That image made me stunned. I had never seen my sister so peaceful and beautiful. Her hair was high. Her face was gentle in the cool water. I stood still in the banana tree, looking at my sister taking a bath under the moonlight. I had never had such thoughts, such strange feelings that I could not explain. Nevertheless, I could not take my eyes off my sister. The feeling of confusion, the throbbing in my heart. After a while, my sister finished her clothes and went home. I waited a few minutes, and then I fell asleep as if I had just taken a nap. I went out to the bank and poured water on the bridge. I felt like I wanted to get rid of the confused thoughts in my head. In the morning, I woke up thinking about my sister. Tongue, what are you doing? Are you going to pack up and leave your sister alone? Not yet. Listening to my sister's voice, I remembered my sister. On the way home, I thought a lot. Why do we have such meanings? I was in the age of teaching. I was changing every day, but that was my sister. I saw my mind at that time was really dark. In the evening, when I finished eating, I noticed that my sister had not yet taken a shower. After hearing my sister talk to my mother, I knew that this time my sister took the time to break the rice and take a shower. No matter what kind of rice you break, the sweat will come out like a bath. Did Tung go to the toilet tonight? My mother asked. Yes, what to do, Mom? If you don't, take the time to break the rice with your sister. What are you doing? Come on. Just go. You can do it alone. My sister said, I want to stay at home to help my sister. If I want to go, I usually go to see my sister every 12 o'clock at night. One day I went to 1 o'clock in the morning. I imagined the scene of my sister taking a bath and wanted to see it again. Yes, these days my sister is busy, I have to be busy, then I will be back in a few days. Today seems to be 16 months, as beautiful as a girl in a poem. Under the moonlight, I thought of the empty river bank. There was only the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. I lay on the bed and listened to the sound of crickets. The river was as beautiful as a dream. Winter came early this year. I don't know why I don't like winter anymore. I don't know why I don't like winter anymore. Maybe winter makes me wake up earlier in the cold. In this winter, you don't see the fire burning like every year. Or simply because of a reason, both children and adults. In the cold winter, every time my sister went to take a shower, she pulled the curtain to cover the shower door. It made me not see anything. I remember that day was a winter day. When the northeast wind was blowing, I went to school and came home when it was almost noon. My lips were red again because I wore a thin coat when I went to school in the morning. Because I wore a thin coat when I went to school in the morning. I didn't go home right away, but I went to the kitchen to see if there was any cold rice to warm my stomach. I heard someone talking upstairs. It was probably Hoa's voice with Dao. I sneaked out the back of the house and listened. It was Hoa. He just got home. I talked to my mom in the morning. I'll go, said Hoa. Then I heard Dao's voice. Why don't you stay home with Mom? You have me, oh no. Hoa said, about this village, when can you get your head up? They said, this time I'll go far away. I don't know when to come back. But where are you going? Are you going to leave Mom and leave me? I'm going to work. Why do you ask so much? I've made up my mind. Dao was still silent. Hoa took a deep breath and said, what about you? I'll set you free, you can go wherever you want. Dao was shocked to hear Hoa's words. Me too. Hoa seemed to want to leave Dao. Dao asked, why don't you understand? Why are you so stupid? Why don't you understand? Hoa, I used to be famous for being ill-educated, stingy, rude, and poor. Should I leave the village or leave him? He was so angry that he swore never to come back to this village when he was not rich. I heard Dao crying. She said in tears, you are so heartless. You marry me now to tell me to go wherever I want. How many days have passed? Do you know how hard it is for me? Yes. I don't know what you think. Hoa's voice was hoarse. And then, while Dao was crying in sadness, Hoa left. I just ran in to meet him in the middle of the yard. Just as I asked a question, Hoa said, what do you know? He just said and went straight to the gate. He seemed to have forgotten something, so he called me back out loud, Tung, come here. I said. I went to the gate. Tung took my hand and threw a bunch of money into the bottom. You took the money to buy a new bicycle to go to school. It's hard to do it at home, don't play around. Remember to take care of your mother. When I'm fine, I'll know, remember. Now I'm going. He went straight away. He left me alone in front of the villagers. In the house. In Haijiang, I heard two women crying. I heard some guys in the village saw Hoa carrying a woman. She looked like a city person, they carried each other on a motorbike to the street. After Hoa came back and left as fast as a wind. My mother and Sister Dao just cried for a day or two and then went back there. Sister Dao was still at my house like before. Although she didn't say anything, I knew she would never leave my mother and son. When the new year was coming, another new year came to my village. Every year, Jia Riang held a very fun party. Sister Dao sang well and was famous in the village. This year, she asked my mother to let her join the band. In the morning, she went to work. In the evening, she came back to the village after taking a bath to practice singing. She sang very well, her voice was clear and full of emotion. Many people fell in love with her. Among them, there were two people that I liked very much. One was Mr. Vui, a musician. His name was Vui, but his main job was to play the organ. Sometimes, he sang at weddings. The musical instruments that he played the best were probably the accordion. Sometimes, he also played the organ. As I said, he was very happy to sing at weddings. For many years in his career, the organ was his main job. Wherever he appeared, he was happy to be there. There were always new and poor people, the whole village was afraid of him singing happily. So this year, he was almost 30 years old but he still had no wife. In the village, it was obviously hard. Then, he swam across the river to the other village. People also avoided him. It was obvious that he was poor but he was happy. Many times, I saw Mr. Vui throwing his head out of the gate and covering it with Mrs. Hong's gate. Her daughter was wandering around my neighborhood. When some dogs were barking, Mrs. Hong stepped out from the house and saw Mr. Vui, so she chased him away. Mrs. Hong was old but her eyes were weak. She was so far away but she still saw Mr. Vui throwing his head. On that day, Mr. Vui didn't fall down and Mrs. Hong took the dog out to bite him. She was old but she was so scared. There was another person who liked to call me Mr. Jiao Tin. He was from the neighboring village but he taught in my village. He was kind. People in the village were not afraid of him like Mr. Vui. But to be honest, he was not very handsome. He was short but his face was ugly. I don't know how to describe it. I just know that his face was a little stupid. With all the respect, people still called him Mr. Tin Lut. That time, Mr. Vui rode his bike to the gate of my house. At that time, I called him outside the village gate. Dao, let's go to practice martial arts. Mrs. Dao in the house was so scared that she was scared. I saw that, so I said to her, hey, Mr. Vui asked to go to practice martial arts. Do you want to go? Let Mr. Vui stand outside because the dog was so scared. You go and tell him to go. You can walk by yourself. I went out of the gate and saw Mr. Vui staring outside. Hey, hold the dog for me to make it so scared. Yes, Mrs. Dao told me to go first. Later, she cried and said, hey, it's time to practice, and if you don't go, when will it be? Yes, you can go. If your dog doesn't clean it up for you, you won't be responsible. So, you come here. Mr. Vui just rode his bike and always hit something in the gate. I didn't hear clearly because the dog was so scared. I went to the house and saw that Mrs. Dao had just finished washing the dishes outside the yard. She told me to go out and practice with her tonight. Yes, outside your house. I also want to go because I also like singing and dancing very much, especially the local. When I was thinking, she said go, take your family with you. I was so scared by myself. I know Mrs. Dao is very shy, so I agreed to take my family to practice. I left her there and went to the corner of the tree to practice with the kids in the neighborhood. All of us told each other ghost stories. Sometimes, it was noisy. At about 9:30 after Mrs. Dao called me out, the two sisters went home together. Hey, why don't you come in and watch me sing? What are you doing out there? She asked me. Yes, we are sitting and telling ghost stories. Do you want to hear it? You tell me. I won't let you answer in time. I always tell the ghost stories that Mrs. Dow just told me. Hung told me the day before he went to soy X to the big rice tree at the beginning of the village. He saw a girl wearing a white shirt with a long tongue hanging on the top of the tree. I don't know if it's true, Mrs. Dow. Mrs. Dow was scared. She grabbed me and said, "What are you doing? Wake up and go through the rice tree to see if it's there." I told her I didn't see it. I'll go down and hang it for you. I'm so scared. I don't know where it is. Why do you think there's a ghost pulling you up on the tree? There's a ghost, Mrs. Dow. Come on. Go down and hang it for me. I went down to the back to hang it for you. The road to my hometown was empty. There were two sisters. I pulled the bike to the end of the village. It was about to reach the big rice tree. I didn't look at it because I was afraid that I would hurt. I was afraid that 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 was afraid that I was afraid I was afraid that I was afraid that I took a knife, cut a mushroom that was 20 years old, and threw it to the ground. I covered it with a dry cloth and put it on the sunshade. When I was done, she had just finished her job. She looked at me and smiled. Do I look like an idealist? Then no one said anything. She lay down first. I lay down next to her. Sometimes she looked at me and smiled. I smiled, too. We both dove into our nap. One day, I woke up before she was still asleep. She lay there, breathing steadily. I just wished I could put my hand on her chest. Then she sat up and looked at me and smiled. She put her hand on my head and asked if I was sleeping well. I went home to have dinner when the sun was setting. The neighbors had already turned on the lights. The moon was shining at the top of the river. The two of us sat under the trunk of a pine tree. The smell of pine in the early season was so fragrant. When we sat under the foot of the river again, lately, I've been getting closer to you more than any other day. Wherever you go, my house, I remember. Suddenly, you turned to ask, did you have a girlfriend when you went to school in the county? Yes, my classmate. No one loves rice. Really? Then I asked you again, in the past, when you and Anhoa were in love. How old were you? I was 15 years old. As with Lon, my sister, she answered, and Anhoa was 16 years old. Well, the same age as you are now. One day, the two of us went out for a walk. At night, we stood on the bank of the river. We looked down at the flowing river. For the first time in my life, I realized that you are a beautiful girl, more beautiful than in my dreams. You wear a colorful dress. Embrace the look of a beautiful woman. Very charming. High-heeled shoes. Fluffy hair in the wind, you look so beautiful. Every time there is a light wind blowing through. Your hair also flies in the wind. You are a girl with the sharp curves of the letter S in Vietnam. I keep thinking about it and forget my main job. Suddenly, she turned around and caught my eyes. She quickly raised her hand and blushed. Her head bowed. Turned away without looking. Summer is coming. Where did you come from? There was one thing that happened after that completely changed the lives of the two of us. That day, almost noon, the sun was shining like fire. We were in a hurry. Everyone was busy with work. I took a basket of rice and went home first. As soon as I got home, I heard someone calling me. Tung, come and see. It seems that the rice has fallen off the other side of the village. I still have to pick up the rice. I ran really fast towards her. I don't know if the rice has really fallen. She was also picking up the rice before. When I got there, I was welcomed by a few people sitting on the side of the road. Her face was warm again. She said she had a sunstroke and fell off the road. Poor her. After a while, she woke up, but her face was still swollen with pain. I asked, do you still have pain anywhere? Are there any pain in your arms and legs? It hurts so much. The villagers advised me to take her to a shelter. The wind was blowing gently. Hearing that, she said, "Just let me sit here and rest for a while. Don't let me carry you back. You can walk by yourself. No, you have a sunstroke. Your legs hurt. Let me carry you back, I'll help you stand up, then bend down to carry you up. Because I've never carried a woman before. Plus, my hand is hurting, I couldn't hold it, so my head was a little dizzy." She said, "Yeah. So can you carry me?" I said, "I carried her along the way home. Just when my mother was on her way home, I put her on the bed to let her get some fresh. I ran to make her a cup of lemon and salt water to drink. I saw her lying on the bed, breathing evenly. Her eyebrows were a little saggy, maybe because of the pain. I felt so sorry for her. In the afternoon, she woke up. The sun had passed, but her hands were still hurting. My mother said, "Maybe you've had a heart attack. Later, Tung will take you to Mr. Lang Hue's house to ask for his permission." I said, "Yes, 2 hours." My sister jumped on an old bicycle on the country road. The two sides of the road were narrow. She could only hold one hand on me, the other hand was so painful that I couldn't hold it. "Take your time. One hand hurts, I can't hold it." "Yes, yes." I was really slow on the way. I loved to throw myself into the vastness of the lotus flowers. It was the second lotus on her way. My hands hurt so much that I couldn't do anything. I did all the heavy work outside, from picking rice to carrying rice home. My mother also loved her, so she told me to try. For me, there is no regret, because I also love her a lot. It was the 5th day that day. After finishing the meal, I went to boil the rice until more than 11 o'clock. When I got to the yard, I saw my sister pounding the rice with one hand. I was surprised to ask, "Sister, why don't you come into the house? My hand still hurts, what do you pound the rice for?" "Then you can do it." "Just let me do it, let you do it too. You go to rest." My two sisters pound rice together, when the golden yellow seeds fall into the yard. On my body and you sweat warmly. It's more than 11 o'clock at night, I woke you up, it's too late. You go to bed first. Yes, but I haven't taken a shower yet, I wait for you to come home. Why do you wait for me to come home? Then wait for you to come home to drink a lot of water. My hand hurts, how can I drink water? I don't mean you forget it, let me pour you some water. I poured a bucket of water. I put 2 big buckets in the bathroom, have you seen this? I peed in the bathroom. Today my feet are soft, but I still look pretty. Oh, that's fine, so you go to the bathroom. You go into the house to drink water. It's too hot here, I walked into the house to let you take a shower. I'm going to go around the house and hide behind the banana bush. If I don't make it in time, I'll call you. Tung, what are you doing? You stand at the door of the bathroom and stop what you want to say. Your face is a little red under the moonlight. Stay here, I need you a little bit, you go into the bathroom. I knock on the door. You call again. Come here. I'm shaking all over. I don't know what's going to happen next, at that time, I only know to do what you say like a machine. Because I'm pretty stupid. Close the door, you say, I'm afraid no one will hear. In my house, there is no one but my mother. But she's tired, so she goes to bed early every day, and it's easy to catch a cold. So the night keeps going. At 10 o'clock at night, she never gets out of bed. At night, she always leaves a bag of sadness for my mother. In the morning, she brings a towel again. I listen to her, I close the bathroom door. My face turns red when I see you take off your shirt. My heart is beating fast because I'm nervous. She sits next to me and gently says, help me take off my shirt. My hands hurt too much. I don't know how to do it, you turn your back to me. I just dare to look into the space behind your chair. Where the soft black hair is full of sweat because it's hot, you don't say anything else. You gently ask me to help a little. I help you take off your shirt, I try to do it fast. But I still respect you. You don't want to bother me much. She says, let me help you, okay? Go in and let me take a shower. I answer, so you don't wash your hair today? You stop for a while and say, my hands hurt, my daughter washes her hair for a long time, not like a boy. Can you help me? I nodded, feeling sorry for you and worried for you. I remember the times before, you always worried about everything. You never asked for help. So today you asked me again. That night, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't stop thinking about you. You are so beautiful, why did Hoa leave you alone like that? How many years have you had to live in lack of love? My love for you is getting deeper and deeper. And I don't want you to feel lonely. Another day passed. Tonight, I didn't go to Soy X, but stayed at home with you, helping you break the rice and wash your hair as promised. You have already prepared a pot of boiling water in the kitchen from the afternoon. The smell from the boiling water flew all over the house. That night, the weather was hot, there was no wind. I wore a pair of pants to avoid getting hot. I sweat a lot after breaking the rice. When my mother went to bed, I continued to help her. I poured boiling water into the pot, poured it out and mixed it with water. The smell of boiling water was so special, it reminded me of old memories. It was the smell of rural women who suffered and sacrificed for their families. When I started to wash your hair, you nodded your head down, your long, soft hair fell down like a black sheet. I can't help but admire your beautiful hair. In the past, did Hoa ever wash your hair? I asked a stupid question, but he was very sincere. You answered, in a sad voice, no, I wash my hair all by myself, and he never washes it for me. I was silent for a while, then I stopped asking, Sister Dao, are you sad when Hoa left like that? My question made you silent for a while. I felt the sadness in your eyes, and finally you said, are you sad? I'm very sad, but I have to live on. I feel my heart is heavy, afraid that one day you will not stay here with me anymore. You don't go anywhere, you stay here with Mom and me. You comfort me when I'm worried, I can't control my emotions. Honestly, I promise you, I'm afraid that one day you will take someone else, leave me alone. You protect me, I promise you, don't worry, honestly, I'm afraid that one day you will take someone else, leave me alone. I don't want that to happen at all. You wash your hair, and I pour water in 2 bowls for you to take a bath. Like last time, I go into the bathroom with you, then cover the bathtub. I turn my face behind you, and you turn your face to the wall. I just stand there silently like that, looking at you. At that time, there was a big wound in me. I couldn't control my words. You hurt me, why do you love me so much? If Hoa hadn't left you, you wouldn't have suffered so much. I didn't expect the words of a 19-year-old man to make you so emotional. Maybe it was sincere. Tongue, do you love me? Yes, I love you. I love you so much. I don't understand why you did that again. At that time, I didn't think the girl in my arms was you. At that time, was it love or just the instinct of a woman? Tongue, don't tell anyone about this. Yes, I feel like it's been a long time and you don't have the warmth of a man. If I remember correctly, Hoa left you 6 years ago when I was a little boy. That year, you lacked the warmth of a man. Now I'm grown up, maybe it's like a month together recently. My obvious changes make you emotional, make your insecurities fade away. Tonight, you let me know for the first time in my life what it's like to be a girl. It was a long kiss. That night, you and I couldn't sleep. I was lying on the bed and I kept thinking about that first time. I didn't know how you were feeling. Was the fire inside you still burning or were you regretting yourself? You seemed to avoid me when I looked at you. You didn't dare look at me anymore even though we were still normal. Your face was still red like a newlywed after dinner at the beach. You told me to go and see what you could do. I told you to tell me I know my love for you, I know you love me, but I can't keep you by my side, I can't make you happy, I'm very sad by that river, I'll try to wait for you that day. Just like a habit, I planned to go to the beach to take a shower, but I saw a blanket or a cover at the bathroom door that meant you were taking a shower. I took a small step. You thought I was a stranger. The closer I got, I could hear your voice, but then I found out your secret. That night I came closer and asked, what were you doing in there for so long? I immediately took a picture even though it wasn't clear because it was dark. You walked into the black light. I realized that you were going through the loneliness. Oh, that's what women are like. I didn't dare to step in. I thought about you all night and I fell asleep one day. I was busy with my work. I worked all day from morning to night. When I got home, I found you boiling water with incense. I know you're going to have a headache tonight, like always. You look at me and ask, did Tung go to the toilet again today? I answer, no, I didn't go to the toilet for a few days. You say, so tonight I'll help you a little bit. The water is ready. My mother also reminded Tung to get water for her. Don't let your hands get tired. The son has to suffer a little bit. I laugh and answer, yes, don't worry, I'll help you. After lunch, I wait for my mother to go to bed and help her get the water out of the well, get ready for her to bathe. I carefully pick up each bag of water to put on her head, do it while talking. You look at me and ask, what do you think is so quiet? I answer, nothing, I'm just focusing on helping you. You laugh and say, be careful, you might have to do this for that wife later. I laugh and answer, yes, it must be a long time. You continue to talk, the guys in the neighborhood are the same age as you, they all have lovers already. I'm surprised, so who cares? You point to a few names and say, Tuan, Bang, they hang out with some girls like a dream. You talk nonsense. I shout, so which Bang do you think? You just laugh and don't answer, then look at me, you don't know, you can ask them. At that moment, I suddenly felt that I was not like them, and I just wanted to be with you, help you all the time. The story gradually turned into memories, and I also asked, were you with Hoa or out of the house in the past? You just laughed and said, nothing, just memories. Then you look at me, you always see my unusual pants, you just blush, you're done, you take your water with you to the bathroom. What is it? Taking water with me is too simple. I pull you a straw, then push 2 big buckets. I'm hot-headed in the bathroom like the day before, so I take it quickly. You just washed your hair and looked at me, you must have noticed me, so you smiled. In the bathroom, I saw a shabby man with a swollen skin. You see, you laugh and tell me, have you got a wife yet? Yes, nothing, I'm just naive. I ask you, have you got a wife yet? Yes, of course, sister. So, let me check how the general is. Oh, you got a wife. You shout, I didn't expect you to be so bold. Oh, don't you have a wife yet? Okay, take off your shirt. You just said you just took off your shirt, you just washed your hair, so there's still water on your shoulder, running down your back. What are you doing? I whisper in your ear. Sister, you are my love, you don't say anything, you stand still. I know you agree. You are very beautiful, sister, reward for that saying of mine. That's your answer. My first time, you took it like that. The night before was a kiss. But maybe it was too fast, I was confused, I thought it was just a dream. But tonight, there were even tears. You let me know the taste of life, the taste of a woman. I love you and love you very much. If I were Mr. Hoa, I would take care of the girl I love the most, so that you don't have to cry, have to be sad ever. That night, I woke up again because I thought of you. I was still shaking when I went to sleep, but I thought I was dreaming, or the next day, you took your hand off. You started to work for my mother. Let my mother go to the village to help, for a few days, she stayed at home for a long time. In the afternoon, you came home a little earlier to cook rice and wait for me to eat. After eating, you went to bed. That day, I woke up. I didn't sleep at noon, but I crawled out to catch fish. In the afternoon, the wind was blowing, I sat next to the cover of the pond. The wind brought the scent of the wind back. A strange fragrant scent took hold of me, I caught a very big fish. I was going to tell my sister to catch half of it, and half of it to cook sour soup. I ran into the house, my sister was probably still sleeping in her bed. I came in close. Today, my parents are not at home, so my sister looks quite comfortable. The weather is hot again. The heat of the afternoon was unbearable. My sister was lying in bed, the air was evenly ventilated with the heat. The cover was getting shorter and shorter. Today, my mother is not at home. I hurriedly climbed into the bed next to my sister. The smell of the incense was very strange. It attracted me. At that time, my heart was beating hard. I breathed in right behind my sister's chair. Maybe you know, but just pretend to sleep. I put one hand on my sister. My sister was a little shy. My sister opened her eyes and looked at me. What are you doing here? Tongue. Your voice is like a sleepwalker. I love you, Dao. I don't know if I was crazy at that time, or I was too excited. I said nonsense. But fortunately, you are not angry and turned to me. You are so beautiful. Since then, Dao looks beautiful. The men in the village look at you more and more, but you don't pay attention. You only think of me. Until the winter, we have been together for more than 3 months. At that time, I started to go to school this year. The neighbor's house was on the 10th floor. So every day, she came to my house to go to school. Her house was also in a bad situation. Since she was a child, she didn't know who her father was. Her mother threw a big tree at her grandmother's house. Her mother, after giving birth to her at home for a short time, then let her grandmother raise her. Her mother sometimes went to see her to play for a few days. My parents said that her house was also poor and was taken by a good girl. So she said I had to love people and help her brother. It's winter now. There are no more scorching suns. I also go to a new class this year. I also see myself a little bigger. Lately, I see Dao doing whatever she wants. The two sisters don't have as much time as in the summer, partly because I'm also busy with school. Partly because lately, Dao often participates in women's youth work. Except for the village, Dao is out of work. She also participates in a few competitions. This time, I also heard rumors. I heard someone say that Dao often goes with her brother to do music. I don't believe what she says. But I don't dare to ask her, until one day, I went to school and came back to the village. I heard my mother's voice in the house. My mother kept talking about the wind, talking about the east, talking about the west. What kind of woman doesn't have any skin? What kind of man is that? I went into the house, but I didn't see Dao. I asked my mother, do you have rice? I'm so hungry. The rice was cold in the kitchen. I went down to get it and eat it. My mother was very angry. I immediately went down to the kitchen and saw Dao down there. Do you have rice? Yes, I do. You eat it. I said, your rice cooker is full, why don't you put it on the dining table? You eat it. I saw you putting your face into the stove. Your hands were burning, why are you crying? What did your mother say? No. It's nothing. After I ate a few bowls of rice, she went up to the house. In the middle of the night, my mother also went to bed. She doesn't belong to the tough type. She often talks a lot, but she doesn't say a word. That night, Dao asked my mother to go out of the village. Although my mother didn't say anything, she didn't agree. But she kept going. I finished my homework and went out to play with some guys outside the village gate. My mother was sitting outside the house. It was true that she didn't belong to the tough type. I heard a voice saying, I won't let you go to school. She said, I will let you go to school, but only for a while. At that time, I said to my mother in an annoying voice. She has gone to her family. Where does she live? You are young. I am so angry. I don't want to go to school anymore. I rode my bike out of the village gate with some guys in the neighborhood. I heard they were different. Hoa, you left for too long just because you lacked affection, so you are still named as a ghost. I was confused. Why is that? For months, we haven't had any fun or ghost. Honestly, I was a little jealous at that time. A few days later, in the evening, I finished my homework and went out to play with some guys in the village gate. I stopped to see if my sister Dao wanted to meet Lao. I asked Lao if he was happy. There were a few times when I saw Lao's bike built for the village gate. I took out all the air from the tire to clean it. I was going to tie a rope to make a 7-way crossing, but Lao Bui still went home to let Lao go down the new lane, but I still couldn't do it. I couldn't explain my thoughts either. At that time, maybe I was afraid that one day I would lose my sister, a blurry fear in my head, a new grown-up boy. Where did my brother leave my sister? In my eyes, everyone is still just a kid. No one knows the story between me and my sister, and if anyone knows, no one can accept it. It's a forbidden love. I know me and my sister will never be together, but I'm still afraid of losing my sister. Is that the love of a child? All week, every day, my mother also scolds my sister. Until now, she looks so green like a sick person, she goes home like a ball for a long time. I don't say that. I ask my sister, Sister Dao, you are sick. It's okay. I see you are very green lately, do you have any pain? No, I don't. Sister Dao, I ask this question. If this is not true, don't be sad, people spread rumors about you and your brother. It's not like that. Tongue, do you believe me? Yes, I do, I believe you. You are suffering, Tongue. Every time you talk to me, you cry, I love you so much. Now I'm the only one next to you. And you believe me, I promise myself to protect you until the end. On a cold day, the wind blew lightly and brought cold air from the north. Last night, I heard the news that there was a winter wind in the north. My sister told me to remember to wear a warm coat when I go to school in the morning. This morning, I asked my sister why she ate so little. No, the rice was too dry, she couldn't swallow it. But I still ate as deliciously as usual. I ate 3 bowls of rice before going to school. My sister went to the field. In the afternoon, I went to school. I didn't see my sister, but I didn't pay attention. The situation in the house was so terrible that my mother cooked rice and cleaned it up. Whoever ate, ate. She didn't dare to sit down and eat with me, my mother said. The whole day I couldn't stand it anymore. In the evening, I still couldn't see her. The kitchen was cold, there was no rice or water. From the day my sister went to work, my house was rarely like that. I ran to the house and called her to the front of the house to ask if she had seen my sister anywhere. No, brother, did you see her in the field in the afternoon? Yes, strange. I was out in the field all afternoon but I didn't see my sister. I was very confused, a feeling of unease came. I had a feeling that something was wrong. At that moment, Lon pulled me out of the garden, her face was very serious. She asked, Brother Tongue, do you know any news? What news? This afternoon, I heard many rumors that Sister Dao was pregnant. What? Sister Dao is pregnant? The day before. My sister also said that her daughter-in-law was pregnant, she said it was never wrong. Oh my God. So you left me with that ghost hunting guy, Tung Hoa. I was very sad, but you said you only loved me and then my tears fell on my cheeks. That rainy afternoon, there was a girl who remembered her hometown. In the cold winter night, I still walked around looking for her. The more I looked for her, the more I couldn't find her. I asked all the houses in the village, all the sisters of her friends, but I couldn't find her. I've never felt so worried and uneasy like that. I went out of the garden. The wind blew up the river. I rode along the winding road, just go forever on that road. I don't know when it will end. I went to the neighborhood, but I couldn't find her. I couldn't sleep all night because she hadn't come home yet. I lay down and thought, maybe she had an affair with me. It must be like that and she hid it from me. Why didn't she tell me? If the neighborhood knew that I and she slept together, what would happen if she had an affair? My mother might not be able to stand it and be shocked. She must have never imagined that her daughter-in-law would have an affair with her 19-year-old brother-in-law. The neighborhood and the villagers would look at my family with despised eyes and say the harshest things the villagers used to say. The more I thought, the more confused I was. The more I thought, the more I loved her. In this story, the most miserable and despised person must be my sister. And now, I don't know where she is. The next morning, I woke up early and sent my bicycle to my sister's house. When I asked, everyone said that she didn't come back, so now I don't know where she is. I was so sad that I didn't know where to go. I sat on the empty riverbank and looked at the flowing water. The other side of the river was full of flowers. The only thing I was afraid of was that she would think that I went to the other side of the river to hide my secret. The more I thought, the more scared I was and the more I loved her. In this village, many sad stories have been told about girls. The mean girls ended their lives at the bottom of the river. When I couldn't see her even though I tried so hard. I heard people saying that she went to the other side of the river that morning and then no one saw her again. I lay in bed for a few days and then I woke up. I dreamed of her. She was wearing a red flower, the wind was blowing and the sky was full of stars. People, even my mother, couldn't understand why I was so sick. Everyone thought I was shocked because I thought she had jumped into the river. I didn't know how long I would be sick if I didn't receive her letter. After a month, she came back and gave me a letter. Tongue, do you have this letter? I don't know, I think it's Hoa's letter, but it's not. This is my letter. Tongue, I'm sorry for leaving so suddenly and making everyone worry. But I have no other choice. I'm in the West now. I still live for you. If possible, please help me tell my parents at home when I can write to my mother and tell her I don't want to upset her. Tell her to come to Nam and find Hoa for me. Tongue, I'm a good boy, I'm too young to understand everything. When you grow up, you will understand my decision. Please take good care of and help your mother, I love you. You're the best man. That's one of the 2 letters I received from the day you left. The second letter you sent me was exactly a year after I started high school. The little girl who was 1 year younger than me has been by my side all the time and made me feel her a lot. And I know she has a lot of pain in her heart. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our story. Don't forget to leave a comment to let us know. And now, goodbye everyone, see you again in the next episode.